you're keeping well. It's John Somerville here, back for another wee accordion session. Looking forward to today's lesson because I've got a great wee tune called Paulo's Waltz. And this is a great and lovely wee waltz which was taught to me by a lovely whistle player and flute player and piper called Annie Grace. And Annie used to be in a classic kind of Scottish folk band called the Iron Horse, and she taught this tune to me about 20 years ago, and I kept playing it ever since. So let's get cracking. Let's have a wee look at the right hand first, then we'll do the left hand, and then we'll put the two hands together. So let's kick off with the right hand. So first of all, let's just check what note the tune starts on, and I will bring the sheet of music up right now, and you can see straight away that's got 3/4 time, that's waltz time, 3 beats to the bar, and it's in the key of G. So remember, in the key of G we have F sharps, and that's really important. So anytime you see an F on the music, or anytime you play an F, it's going to be a black note, it's going to be the F sharp instead. Okay, so let's kick off the tune. Now, right at the very top, we have our note of B to start, okay? And it starts off with our middle finger on the B, and then we have 3 notes in succession, A, B, and D, played with our second, third, and our pinky, okay? So second finger, third finger, pinky, and then it drops down to a D with our thumb, okay? So that's really important, is that we're actually sort of going from a high D there to a low D, so that's a full octave. So just get used to that jump, because that's going to come up quite near to the start. And we'll just play it. I'll just play the actual first. Let's take the first 3 bars, okay, first of all. So it's going to go, I'll count us in after 3. You can give it a shot if you want. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, did you get that? Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. And then before we change the direction of the bellows, we've got 3 more notes. D, E, F sharp, with 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so with the bellows, okay, in this tune, we're trying to actually change every 4 bars. So we're going out for 4 bars, in for 4 bars, okay? If you can keep to that, that'd be brilliant, okay? So let's try the first 4 bars. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How did you get on? Okay, great. Let's look at the next bit. We're up to a G with our 4th finger here, okay? So that's just a continuation of that phrase. So we've got 1, 2, 3rd finger on F sharp, then it's up to a G. We've got a 3-beat G, 1, 2, 3, then an E with our 2nd finger, F sharp with our 3rd finger, and we're going to cross the thumb, when I say cross, we're going to actually take the thumb round the back and cross it under, okay, the middle finger onto the G, and that gives us that phrase E, F sharp, G, and then to complete the line we have a 3-beat B, B, 2, 3, and then A, 2, 3. So it's worth just practicing the second half of that first line, starting off at the G, so bar number 5. Let's try that after 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Let's try that again with the bellows going the right way, so you can make sure your bellows are out, and because remember that we've done the first 4 bars out, so we're going to be coming in. Here we go. So from that same place, from the G, after 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you get it? And remember, start on your fourth finger because that's where you're coming from. It's easy to forget and actually start on your third because that seems quite natural. But remember, we've got our D, E and F sharp beforehand. Okay, let's now go back and play the whole first line. Here we go. After 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Change. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, hopefully you got that. That's great. Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Great stuff. Okay, the great thing is if you look at line 2 is we've got a lot of similar phrasing going on. So we're back to our B again. We're pulling out in our bellows, and if you look at it, the first bit is exactly the same. Up to that F sharp, and instead of going to the 4th finger, we're going to cross the thumb round the back, and that's going to take us onto the G. And the last phrase of this part is G, A, B, A. Okay, notice that I finished on the 3rd finger. So there we have our thumb right on the first G. After the D, E, F sharp, you've got a thumb, and then 2nd finger, 3rd finger, back to your 2nd, back to your thumb, cross the 2nd finger over, and then your 3rd finger to finish. So that phrase becomes one, 2, D. Yeah, don't forget that wee D right at the end. There's a D crotchet, okay, and that leads us back into the first part. So the second half of the first part, let's try it. So we're going from the 2nd line of the tune. Here we go, after 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Change. Now, thumb. Finish on the 3rd finger. 1, 2, D. And that would take us back into the start of the first part again. Okay, let's go for it one more time. In fact, not one more time with what we've just done, but let's go right back to the start of the tune, and we'll go through the whole first part of the tune. Okay, so first 2 lines, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1. Take us back, and we would repeat the tune one more time, okay, and then the second time, well, we'd repeat the first part, and when we get to the end of the first part, rather than playing that D, we're going to go back, and at the end of the last phrase, go to your thumb, and then it's 1, 2, 3, and we have that nice climb up, those 3 notes, the thumb, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, and that leads us into the second part of the tune. Guys, that's great work so far. That's the whole A part done. Let's get on with looking at the B part. Great stuff. Okay guys, so let's have a wee look at this B part of the tune. And in the A part, okay, or the last few notes of the first part of the tune, we had 3 crotchets climbing, a G, an A, and a B. Okay, and that leads us nicely onto the first note of the second part, which you are going to play with your fourth finger. And then we're going to climb down, and I say down because we're coming down in tones, and we're going to climb down the scale of G, and the rhythm will sound like this. It'll be C, B, A, G, and get your second finger over the top of the thumb and over onto the F sharp. Just practice that a little bit. After 3, it sounds a bit like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try that once more. 1, 2, 3. And then before we change the bellows, we've got one more bar, and we're going to climb back up with 3 notes starting on the F sharp. So second finger, thumb, and then back to your second finger again. So if we put all that together, we should get this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do it once more and keep pulling all the way out on the bellows for all those 4 bars. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And that leads us nicely onto our pinky hitting this D. Okay, and we're climbing down from the D to the G, and we have the same kind of rhythm. So that phrase there has that same 1, 2, da, 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 da on those notes, okay? So it's starting with our D, D, climbing to the G, and then back up 1, 2, 3 on the G, A, B at the end. Let's try it from the high D. Here we go. Bellows out, because that should be the direction that you're pulling back in on. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we have another phrase which is very similar to the first phrase in the first part, starting on the 4th finger. In fact, it's exactly the same. Okay, so that's great news. So we've just got a bit of repetition there. Let's try that phrase from the C. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. And that brings us up to the end, which you've heard before. And we are going to change the direction of the bellows, go to our thumb, and we've got... Remember that phrase from the first part? So that's thumb, 2, 3, second finger, thumb, second finger over onto the F sharp and back to the G. Let's try that last phrase, just the last phrase. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and at the very end of this, we've got 3 notes, G, A, B, which take us back to the start of the B part of the tune. Okay, great. So let's try the whole first time through the B part, okay? Quite a bit of repetition in there, which makes it nice, and it's not like ridiculously hard in the sense that everything's changing every time you play it. It's nice when there's lots of repetition in Scottish tunes. So here we go. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Second finger over, climbing back up, pinky on the D, 3 notes back up, change direction, second finger over, and then last phrase, change, and then your linking phrase. Okay, brilliant, and that would take us back into the second repeat of the B part. Now, if we were to repeat the B part, we would repeat it all again. The only difference would be at the very end, we'd probably go back to our thumb. So that last phrase would become... and that would be the end of the tune. Okay, great. I think we've got the whole right hand now. So we did the first part, we've done the A part, we've done the second part or the B part. So let's put it all together and see if we can play the whole tune with the repeats as well. Okay, so here we go, the whole tune from the start after 3. So we're starting with our middle finger on the B, remember. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Stuff, guys. That was the whole tune with the right hand. That is excellent. Okay, let's look at now the left hand. Okay guys, so we're looking at the left hand now of Paulo's Waltz, and some nice chords in here, and pretty simple. You'll need G, D, A minor, E minor and C. Okay, for accompaniment of the tune. So basically we're just going to look at the left hand, and we've got, to start off with, we're going to sit on our G. Now remember the waltz rhythm, so note, chord, chord. And we're going to play that all the way through. So the first couple of bars sit on a G. So we go a 1, 2, 3, G again, then to 2 Ds, and then it's up to E minor, and then a big jump to C, C to D. Okay, so that's your hardest bit there. We're looking at the first line, and the hardest bit was definitely the jump from the E minor to the C. Okay, if you find that difficult, just play a C instead of the E minor and that'll be absolutely fine. So let's go again with that first line. So we've got 2 Gs, 2 Ds, an E minor, and then a C and a D. So here we go. A 1, 2, 3. So G, G to D, D again. Now change direction, E minor, E minor, and then C to D. Okay, how did you get on with that? Hopefully that was fine. And then in the second part, it's actually a lot easier because all we've got is the chords of G, D and C happening. So basically, let's go from the second line. I'll count us in after 3. We've got 2 G's to start. 1, 2, 3, G, G again, to D, D again, and this time to C, C, and to D, and 2 bars of G to finish. Brilliant. Okay, so let's add that all together now. Okay, so we've got the first line and the second line. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. G, G, to D, D, E minor, E minor, to C, to D, to G, G again, D, D, C, to D, to G. Okay, excellent stuff. So now we're ready to move on to the second part, because the repeat of the A part is exactly the same as you just end with a G again, 2 bars of G in the second time ending. So moving on to the second part of the tune, we're starting on a C chord, so we've got a C to A minor and then 2 Ds, D, and then a G. Now this chord I didn't actually mention, it's kind of like a D, and you can play a D, absolutely works, but if you can, play a counter bass of D, and that leads to the E minor, which you play twice. Then we've got a C, A minor, 2 Ds, D, and then G, D, to G. And that gets us to the end of the B part of the tune. So again, maybe there the hardest jump is maybe just trying that counter bass from the G to the D over F sharp and then to the E minor. Okay, so, and obviously you've also got that E minor to C jump as well. So let's just try that again, and we'll try the second part. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. C, A minor, to D, D again. Here comes the phrase G, counter bass, 2 E minors. Big jump to C, C, A minor, 2 Ds, and then to G, to D, back to G. And then if you're finishing, a nice block chord to finish. Okay, great stuff. So that's the left hand now done for both parts. So let's move on to putting the 2 hands together. Okay, so we're into the final part of this, and we are going to put the 2 hands together for Paulo's Waltz. So we've gone over the left hand, we now have our fingering in the right hand at the ready. So let's try and put both hands together. So we'll try, let's just go for the first line and see how we get on. Okay, after 3. 1, 2, 3. So G, G again, to D. D again, E minor, big jump to C, to D, and then that would be the end of the first line and take us on to the second line. Some quite difficult wee changes in there, and just make sure you keep the fingering nice and tidy too if you can. And then the second line, very similar. So we start on the B again on the right hand and the G chord on the left. D again, and then C, okay, and that takes us back to the start of the first part. So let's try the first part all together, and you'll notice that I'm actually accentuating, I'm emphasizing the first note to get that nice kind of bounce to the tune. Okay, so you can do that if you want. Here we go, first part of the tune. After 3. A 1, 2, 3. Okay, great, and you would repeat that again with a slightly alternative ending of going on to your thumb at the end. So let's move on to the B part, starting with our fourth finger on C, and we've got our C to A minor. I'll talk us through the chords the first time. Here we go. A 1, 2, 3. So C. E minor, C, A minor, to D, D again, G, let's do that again. So we've got C, A minor, to D, Okay, so let's now try and play the whole tune from the start to the finish, okay? And here we go. After 3, middle finger on the B, a 1, 2, 3. Guys, that is Paulo's Waltz. I hope you enjoy that tune, and I hope those of you that are listening to it enjoy it as well and enjoy waltzing to it. Lovely wee tune. Okay, excellent stuff. Well done everybody. I will see you soon.